Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of No Gods, No Mayors. It may have been that I've been mayor twice in a row for the last couple.
Listen, the movements of the Metaculus are obscure to us.
Yeah.
However, I may have been mayor last time, but I am being sort of mayor pro tem this time. I'm being I am ceding my time on the council floor to Ray and Boris from The Empire Never Ended. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you.
I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, I should say.
yeah. And this has been a long time coming because one place we have not done, I'd say, much mayoral coverage is in the Balkans. And let me tell you, what I've learned from speaking with these guys in the last couple of days, the Balkans is a very municipal place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Like, you think France is municipal. The Balkans is fucking municipal.
We're exploring emerging markets in municipality.
And so they've thrown together just a real, I'd say, the biography of a real piece of work. A man whose name I believe is pronounced Aleksandar. Is it Šapić?
Šapić.
Šapić.
Yeah. Aleksandar Šapić. However,
Ladies be Šapić. Thank you.
Before I cede my time in the council chamber to Ray and Boris, we have, is this episode 99?
This is episode 99. This is the last ever.
Put a flake in us, we're done.
Yeah. This is now, is this the last ever we talk about little bits of local news before we get to the main mayor?
No.
But this may be the last ever municipal roundup. So can I just ask everybody to give us something with a real sense of finality, a hya that will end all hyas?
You got it.
Yeah! Now, November, would you like to kick us off with your item?
Oh, I have a beautiful item here because I have found a guy who is not really enough for a whole episode. But if I tell you that we are in 2010 in Farringdon, in deepest Oxfordshire, right? And our mayor was Mayor of Farringdon. He's now retired. He's an ex-mayor. He's also an ex-colonel. He's an ex-cavalry officer. And his name is John Gilman. And after he got out of the Hussars, he settled down to be mayor, finished with being a mayor. And as the Telegraph describes him, John is a distinctive character around the town. A tall man who has a limp right arm as a result of a war wound. He often talks about pesky youngsters causing trouble in the area.
He has a limp right arm because of an old war wound is very funny. It's is he, wounded?
So these pesky youngsters manifest in this case. They have like pillboxes, right? Like bunkers. There are still old World War II ones all over Britain, and including in this part of Oxfordshire. And the teens.
Yeah, I've seen the film Smithereens. Sure.
Yeah. The rowdy teens use one of these pillboxes to smoke in, right?
Good.
And John really does not like this. And so he is arrested on a charge of bombing this pillbox by putting a kind of anti-teen booby trap in. He puts in, allegedly, he is now dead, so this isn't libel. I do want to say he was cleared of this, right? There was no further action, but he was arrested on the charge of putting like a kind of sand bucket in there that was actually filled with gunpowder. And when these two poor fucking teenage boys put their cigarettes out in it, both of them were blown up terribly.
Damn. Did they die?
No, but they both of them survived, but they had to be air ambulanced out.
He reverse Home Alone them. Finally, an adult is doing this to a child.
I just want to know, there's a link to a story about this in the Oxford Mail in which he is there wearing the gilet and pointing aggressively past the camera as if he is threatening someone.
Hey, teens, I only have to be lucky once.
He claimed the blast was heard over a mile away. He claimed, and I guess successfully because the charges were dropped, that he had been cleaning off graffiti that the teens had done. and must have left some like highly explosive like turpentine or something around.
So I was going to do a controlled demolition. Sorry,
yeah. No, sorry. The mayor is like cranky old janitor of the town. Like I was there cleaning off graffiti because I have to because I'm the mayor. That's what I do.
There's another Oxford Mail story here where the quote is of one of the parents of the kid says, "I can't believe it has happened. It's just mad. The whole summer is spoiled for them," which feels like a kind of low stakes way of talking about your 15-year-old son being bombed.
Like my child has no head.
Because, like, do you think, like, okay, because let's say the mayor was in fact, let's say he was trying to Dirty Harry these teens, right?
Yes.
You know, he was trying to Harry Brown them.
Yeah,
he was giving them old Harry Brown.
Well, the pillbox was on his land, so yeah.
So he was giving them the reverse Home Alone. Do you think like the whole, because to go get gunpowder, put it in a bucket, go to the pillbox where the teens are smoking,
cover it with sand, put cigarette butts in there to make it look like it's a normal like bucket full of sand.
You have to think so many times about what you're doing and never say, wait a minute, I'm gonna kill these boys. I shouldn't kill the boys.
Mr. Gilman refused to comment outside his home in Farringdon yesterday. This is from the Telegraph. However, on his Facebook page, he wrote, "I may be a social hand grenade, but," in all caps with 5 exclamation marks, "this is stupid."
Because this is what they all fantasize about.
Yeah, one resident who didn't want to be named said, "They are lovely kids. It's terrible what's happened. I have a daughter and I'm worried that other traps have been set." And I want you to know, this guy, right, he was like, he was a Civil War reenactor in the town.
What side?
Our Civil War, so weirder still. He was like,
you guys caught that disease from us?
Yeah, he restored tanks, and I have a quote here because when he died in 2014, very sadly, there was a thread in his memory on the Historic Military Vehicle Forum on account of how he restored quite a few of them. I have a very rich fund of stories about John Gilman, but just one. We were on a landing craft about to set off for the 60th anniversary of D-Day. They were loading food by the ton, and I turned to John and I asked if he knew if the weather would be rough, as I am no sailor and we were facing at least 12 hours in a flat-bottomed boat. He did not know, but looking at the supplies going on board, said, "Never mind, they have plenty of oranges." I gave him a mystified look and he cracked the old joke about oranges being the only thing that tastes the same whichever way it's going.
He was, by the way, he was a prodigious repairer of old military vehicles, so he could shoot a Mark I tank at a teenager. Like, that was probably why he was doing it.
One time he needed cotton cloth to replace a blocked fuel filter on a Russian armored personnel carrier on Salisbury Plain and donated the underwear he was wearing. He was one of the best people I have ever met, and the world is a sadder place for his past.
He was trying to fix up his old car, and he did the most heroic thing I've ever seen, which is that he took out his dick and balls in front of us.
He's like, I keep going back to the woman who's like, I'm worried that there are more traps.
It's entirely possible that there still are, just out there, right? This guy was digging like a network of fucking tunnels like in Rambo Last Blood to try and catch rowdy teens. John Gilman, I think I've painted a real sort of pen portrait of the guy here. I feel a kind of strange, inexpressible fondness for him. He is the English id, being like, I'm going to dress up as fucking Prince Rupert of the Rhine, and if anyone tries to stop me, I will set booby traps for them.
Yeah.
For their children specifically.
For children specifically.
But before we go on, Ray, Boris, what do you think of John Gilman?
I mean, this sounds like something that could have been like maybe a Balkan connection, Albania, bunkers, that whole thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, things happening in bunkers in Albania. They get turned into coffee shops or whatever. But I don't know of any being blown up for kids smoking. No.
What is it? Between Britain and Albania, there are 80 million cantankerous old men.
It just occurred to me as well that, like, setting off an explosive deliberately inside a bunker is how Klaus von Stauffenberg tried to kill Hitler.
Oh my God. Wow. Jesus
How
Christ.
much can you hate teenagers that you're like, okay, grenades though?
Mm-hmm. I mean, fade in a Union Jack over top of the video of us while you're saying
I mean,
that.
this is just the town from Hot Fuzz, I think, a little bit.
Maybe. I'm just gonna put in our WhatsApp group chat this photo of the guy so that you get the sense of him.
Okay, let me take a look.
So you can react to what I think is one of the most powerfully British images I've ever seen in my life.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm going to forward this to you guys.
What did they... Oh my God.
That's how he looked when he was planting the bucket full of gunpowder.
It looks like...
allegedly.
Okay, you can't forward... I can't forward images in Blue Sky, but he looks fucked.
I'll do a link in here. Try this.
This is going in the Patreon show notes. I do have to say,
100%. All right.
Oh my God!
Wow.
This is like the sort of James May armed brigades. It's like wild stuff.
Fantastic.
All right. May I present an item to the class?
Please.
All right. So I'm just going to read from Global News Canada. The mayor of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, a place I've been, banned from local taxi service after alleged late night fracas.
How do you have a fracas in a taxi?
Well, you're about to get that answered. This is from a couple weeks ago. This is an ongoing story. It's developing. The mayor of a tourist hotspot on Nova Scotia's southwest coast has been banned from using a taxi service in the community after allegedly being involved in a drunken late-night confrontation with a driver. And it says a driver. It's the only taxi in the community. There are no other taxis.
Oh, fantastic.
So, the town of Lunenburg, a UNESCO heritage site, has confirmed it's investigating allegation against its mayor, a man named Jamie Myra. The RCMP said they responded to a dispute between a cab driver and a client in the town around 2 a.m. Saturday, but no charges were laid. Simon Gordon, owner of Saltwind Transportation, said he received numerous calls and texts from the mayor on Friday night asking for a ride across town for him and a small group of people after 1 a.m. The taxi owner said Myra and his group were inebriated when he arrived. And now this is what's very swiftly becoming a Canadian mayor move, which is that Myra, the mayor, threw a wadded up $50 bill at him and urged him to allow more passengers than there were seatbelts before then making a homophobic comment.
Why do they all throw money at people?
He's channeling the ghost of Rob Ford. He's honoring a great Canadian mayor.
It's like, look, there are Civil War reenactments in the U.S. There are Civil War enactments in Britain. And instead of having War of 1812 reenactments in Canada, which we do, we should have reenact Rob Ford's drunken night at that beer market, which involves wadding up a bunch of money and throwing it at a taxi driver who you're simultaneously insulting.
I love having a homophobic reaction to like not being allowed to fit like 8 people in a 4-seat car.
Yeah, what are you, gay?
Gay guys love making the correct number of people sit in cars.
So, a seatbelt, that's like a little dress. That's the dress. So, when the taxi owner refused, a woman from the party started screaming and yelling, and the mayor refused to get out of the car despite repeated requests.
You'd think that a mayor would like a seatbelt because it evokes the sash, but maybe to him it evokes gay sex too much.
Like, the mayor is just like, oh, seatbelt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess you just want me to think of gay sex.
Yeah, what's the seatbelt for you? So you can hold me down to have gay sex with me? No, thank you. Absolutely not.
I think that, like, unlike the bombing of children, this actually sounds very, very Balkan.
Yes.
So much so that it wouldn't even be a scandal. I think this is just normal behavior for a mayor of a small town in the Balkans.
Okay.
This is why they become mayors.
I'm going to boss that one taxi driver around.
So the funny thing is, Myra realized, like, the next morning, I fucked up. I fucked up real bad. I'm going to have to make the taxi driver like me again. Gordon said the mayor called him 4 times and left 2 voicemails and several texts apologizing Saturday for the group's behavior. When the pair spoke on the phone, the mayor suggested he would support the taxi owner's efforts to bring a transit system to the town Gordon said, and quote, would be willing to work with me on anything related to my business. He'd like to sit down next week to discuss. It's like, please don't be mad at me. Please let me keep using the only taxi. I'll let you be mayor.
I'll throw more money at you. I'll throw it in like a less hostile way.
Yeah, I'll build you a monorail. Is that what you want?
This town of like 4,000 people that contains a historic old sailing ship.
Yeah, they're getting a commuter rail now because the mayor called the text an F slur.
The mayor also allegedly warned Gordon that his friends and family would, quote, come after him and his business on social media if the events of early Saturday morning were made public.
Oh, so he's doing carrot and stick, you know? It's like, on the one hand, I'll build you a monorail. On the other hand, you'll never drive a cab in this town again.
Basically, Gordon said prior to the past weekend, he'd been thinking about running for town council, and he's feeling more inclined to put his name forward after the events of the past weekend. But for now, he said, Jamie Myra, the mayor, his family, and several other members of his group have been permanently banned from Saltwind Transportation Services, the only taxi company in Lunenburg.
So now you're telling me that it's possible that the despised taxi driver could become the exalted mayor.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be a live story that we're going to follow for a while. What's going to happen in Lunenburg? Will Gordon become the mayor? Will Myra have his revenge? What did he say to him?
Oh, you know, a guy named Gord has a natural advantage running for mayor in Canada just because of the.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
He says he just says that it is with a heavy heart that we will be suspending service for the time being until this is worked out. We'll be in direct contact with anyone who this may impact and will work with other service providers to find temporary solutions for regular customers. Because Gordon says now that it's all public, he's been starting to receive strange emails through our contact page from people we believe are impersonating the mayor.
He says he's going to build the monorail, but he's going to run me over with it?
On a charge of mayor impersonation.
Yeah, so this was my item. It's going to be one that we're following, I think. Now, Thank you very much, of course, for enjoying the final municipal roundup. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that sailing ship doesn't prefigure anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I realize next week is going to be we're going to be the bonus episode next week is the last London live show, which does have a municipal roundup on it. So you get, but chronologically, it's a flashback.
I didn't even know when I was doing the live show in full cowboy regalia that was going to be the last municipal roundup.
Yeah.
Fitting.
Wow.
I think.
Fitting.
All right. That was the parade of items. Ray and Boris, please tell us about this piece of work.
Well, I mean, Aleksandar Šapić, I guess what I sent you in the notes is my pen portrait of him is he's a dumb jock who does dumb jock things, but occasionally does some surprising things like making all public transit free, which is interesting. So he's an Olympic water polo player, which water polo is like a big deal in the Balkans and pretty much nowhere else, I think.
Yeah, I remember seeing this map of like every Olympic gold winning like water polo player is born in this triangle, and the triangle is just over like one part of the Balkans.
Huh. Yeah, and Hungary. And so like Serbia and Hungary, which are both landlocked, are somehow really, really good at water polo.
Well, it's because they have all the pools.
Yeah, and
it's like, well, I support his free public transport policy, but I don't like that the free public transport all goes to a pool.
Yeah, I don't like that when I get in the pool, everything looks very serene on the surface, but under the water, the mayor is kicking me a lot.
Yeah, and dunking your head underwater.
Which is the only thing I know about water polo is they're all beating each other up under the water.
It's a brutal sport.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's why this guy and other water polo players are all like super jacked because it's like a ridiculously athletic sport. But yeah, that's him, except that he's also like a total right-wing demagogue, like comically corrupt with like luxury villas in different countries, all that kind of fun stuff. But he's also not really, I guess, the people's choice, you'd say. He's kind of like another avatar of like a series of mayors that represent the kind of ruling party in Serbia that's been in power since, 2012, right?
Yes.
And that's the Serbian Progressive Party, which is led by this, I guess you'd call him autocratic leader, Aleksandar Vučić. And so he's the third in this series of mayors who it's kind of important because there's, they've done these huge transformations of the city, which is probably like the biggest transformation since like the socialist period. And well, I mean, they're bad guys, kind of. Like,
I love the sort of juxtaposition of Serbian Progressive Party brackets far right demagogues.
yes.
We're progressing rightward. Yeah.
Progressive, I think is misleading in this context. Although Vučić did do some things like make the first lesbian prime minister in Europe. Although I think that was kind of a long con to make people more homophobic because she's like one of the worst people on the planet.
Diabolical.
So there's that. And then, Serbia's been rocked by a lot of like really, really big protests, a lot of which have been under Šapić's reign. So like he's not doing too well. Like the mayorship was kind of a stepping stone. The previous two mayors obviously went on to become, various different Minister of Finance and all this other kind of stuff. And I don't think Šapić is going anywhere after he resigns or is forced out.
He's retiring. He's very depressed.
Yes, he is very depressed.
He said that being a sort of unpopular mayor in a city rocked by protest, and he's not just able to surreptitiously underwater kick his way out of the problem, has caused him to become depressed.
Although he was supposedly, and I don't think that this has been shelved, was supposed to build a dolphinarium in Belgrade.
Dolphinarium?
He was going to play water polo against
or something.
them for the first time. He was going to be trying to hold a dolphin underwater and kick the shit out of it.
Well, it's like training in altitude for a water polo player to play against a dolphin who could swim so much faster than you.
I can't be the only person who believes that if the Dolphins put together a team, they could dominate Olympic water polo.
For sure, yeah. Like his previous two predecessors also did like these massive, like really top-down gentrification projects, this like Emirati funded Belgrade waterfront, which like literally just looks like generic like city skylines buildings that they just plopped in like the middle of the city. And that was like controversial for a whole bunch of reasons we can get into, including like this eminent domain thing where they weren't getting the proper permits fast enough to demolish the previously existing buildings. So they just literally sent guys in ski masks with bulldozers to like beat the shit out of like the guards who were guarding that building, and then just bulldozed an entire city of city block overnight.
I don't know that there's any, like, maybe your security guards are built different. I don't know that our security guards are staying when the guy with the balaclava and a bulldozer rolls up.
They actually tied him up. It was an old guy, and they tied him up, and he died a few days later from heart attack.
Jesus.
So again, not great people. Mm-hmm. And then even more confusingly, the guy that immediately preceded him was never actually mayor.
He was deputy mayor, yeah.
He was deputy mayor, but it was never explained to the public why he was the one doing everything for several years. Like, I think if you had done a survey, nobody even would have known who the real mayor was, right?
Yeah, and just to make a point, we didn't even check what was the actual mayor's name, because no one knows that guy. Everybody thinks about this guy who's called Goran Vesić as the mayor, although he was only a deputy mayor, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The mayor behind the mayor.
Yeah. I think Vesić wasn't an actual mayor because Šapić, who's the guy that we're talking about today, was like a mayor of one of Belgrade's municipalities, New Belgrade. And so he was a part of the local government and probably somehow needed for the whole thing to work. And he and Vesić hate each other. They were the biggest rivals. So I probably for that reason, Vesić was never the actual mayor, although he was a de facto mayor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so the trend here is like there is this vision for what Belgrade is going to be. And the mayor's job is just to make it happen no matter what, no matter who they have to bulldoze.
It's going to be city skylines, and we don't care how many old men we have to shibari to do it.
Okay, how about this? Check it out. City Skylines More Realistic Edition, where a huge amount more of what you're doing is like, you can't just like decide that you want to make an industrial district where there was residential districts before. You have to like have a slider for how many goons you employ. And then like it becomes like you get elements of a real-time strategy game in it as well.
I'm there for that game 100%.
Yeah.
Clicking and dragging a box over my goons and right-clicking on the hapless security guard.
Oh, you actually, the best thing to do is you have to rush baseball bats, and then you're going to be able to get much more map control.
Command and conquer mayors?
Why is the city ordering so many baseball bats? It's not a sport there.
You blew the entire city budget on balaclavas? That's
Trying to introduce water baseball? It goes so slowly.
The only way to make water polo more brutal is to introduce like blunt objects.
So we got this, like, we have this, I think this is our scene is set, right? We have this momentum to transform the city no matter what has to happen. I found the crown of Belgrade of New Belgrade in the gutter and picked it up with this baseball bat with a nail through it. And that's where we get to Šapić, right?
Yeah. Although maybe, Ray, you can explain what like the ideological vision of transforming the city is. Like, what is the Serbian Progressive Party? Because it's like, it's a kind of scary story.
Yeah, so Vučić, who is the president of Serbia and the leader of the Serbian Progressive Party, or SNS, which is the acronym for it in Serbo-Croatian, he is actually the real mayor and or basically every city and town in Serbia. I mean, he really controls everything, and increasingly so throughout the years. So the Serbian Progressive Party, which is officially like a right of center party, was founded in 2008, but as a split from an earlier party, which was called the Serbian Radical Party, which existed since the 90s. And this is like an extreme right-wing chauvinistic party that had its like paramilitaries that participated in the war in the 90s. And Vučić was like the number 3 guy in the hierarchy of the party. So he was very high up, and he was like an extreme Serbian like chauvinist, support for war criminals, for like the general Mladić that is responsible for Srebrenica genocide. Vučić himself was very supportive of that guy in many different ways. And that party was in the 90s supportive of the Milosevic regime. And then in the 2000s, when the neoliberals came to power, became the biggest opposition force to the neoliberal Democrat regime of the early 2000s. Because all of the people who were not satisfied with the so-called transition into liberal capitalism or whatever, voted for that
tell
party.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's opposed to the neoliberals, and I'm like, I'm listening. Listening to nothing else.
Yes. And so the party, became the biggest party in the early 2000s, but it was never able to be in power because all the other liberal pro-European parties would join against that party. And although they were the biggest, they never had enough support to be in power. And in 2008, Vučić realized, okay, unless we change our politics, we'll never be in power. So he made a split, which basically took all of its membership and created the Serbian Progressive Party as officially a pro-European right-of-center political party, while their leader, Vojislav Šešelj of the Radicals, was in The Hague, tried for war crimes. So he used that opportunity to create a new party.
It's just no, trust me, we want to be like modern and European. Don't ask why I'm like doing all these fan cams of like this guy scything all of this grass. It doesn't mean anything.
Yes. So it's like a very technocratic neoliberal party with this extreme right-wing background, pretending to be a moderate party. And they are supported by all the liberals. They like the change. And a lot of opportunists from the previous neoliberal democratic regime now joined the party. Like Šapić himself. He was a member of the Democrat Party, which was in power in these neoliberal times of the early 2000s. And, things started to change because they came into power in 2012. But soon it became clear that the EU doesn't really want to expand. And they don't want Serbia to become a member anytime soon. And also that they really don't mind autocratic governments outside of EU in Europe. They came up with this idea of stabilocracy. Okay, it's an authoritarian government, but it keeps things stable in an unstable region as they see it.
A concept that never came back to bite Europe strategically in the ass,
right?
Ever.
Exactly, yeah. And also, the so-called West also became much more right-wing, fascist, and authoritarian itself. So all of these developments allowed for the Vučić regime to become more and more openly, to go back to their roots. and be more and more chauvinistic, xenophobic, and especially authoritarian. So, I mean, that's it.
It's like, at least you're not Orban, right? Like, if that's the kind of like EU consensus.
Although they're super close, they loved Orban. They were like really sad when he lost power.
Yeah, and so Šapić, like Ray said, was like, he jumped ship from the liberals, and, he's a guy that like got into politics just, I think, kind of for the fun of it because he was already a celebrity, right? So like he had been, like I said, an Olympic water polo player. He had gotten several medals, like starting from 1996, I think he started in those Olympics, got a bunch of silver, bronze, I think maybe even a gold. He was well known, and then he decided to go into politics. There is like a funny little anecdote just about like a movie he was in before he went into politics, which is like a teen comedy movie called When I Grow Up, I'm Going to Be a Kangaroo. And Šapić has like a cameo role in that as a guy named Gangula, who is like a local criminal who harasses like people at a bar that I think he owns. So like all the people at the bar are always trying to watch like the football game. And then Gangula comes in, sits down, and changes the channel while they're all like, trying to watch the game. And he's a big asshole. And it turns out that he is literally just that character in real life. But at the time, he was like Dancing with the Stars and all that kind of stuff, and like, appearing in comedy movies. But
we elected the character of Mr. Asshole from this. There's a kind of surreal nature to like, there's this thing that happened in politics in like the 2020s where it's like, what do you mean the voice of like the guy from the bird from Angry Birds is president of Ukraine now?
I mean, I can't imagine living in a country who'd be stupid enough to elect someone from the television famous for being a piece of shit. That's just crazy stuff to me. I just like, wow.
Well, that's like also kind of the thing is that he wasn't really elected because you don't have direct election of mayors in Serbia, right? So like, people vote for like a list of parties for city council, and then city council appoints the mayor. Okay. So like when he went into politics, like after he retired from sports, he became, like Ray said, the president of the municipality of New Belgrade, which is, I think, the largest municipality in Belgrade. It's, like there's at least 500,000 people that live there. It's like it is like the most important municipality, and that's where he's from. That's also for you like socialist modernism nerds, like all the like kind of planned city with the big blocks and all that kind of stuff. So he got his start there. And like, for a while, since he had been like in the Democrats, he was kind of supposed to be like the bridge between like, the opposition and the ruling party. And he wanted to show that like he could just kind of do work with everybody. But he formed his own political party in 2018, which performed, I say, quote unquote, well, because this election in 2020, which, there was a lot of stuff happening in 2020, was kind of it was a sham election, like totally. Like the opposition boycotted it. And then the election was held during lockdown. Like, I think in May 2020, Vučić announced that Serbia had defeated COVID and that everything was going back to normal. And that was just in time for this election to happen. And after the election happened, it's like, well, psych now, like, actually, COVID is pretty bad and we're going to reintroduce all the lockdown measures.
Somehow COVID returned.
So this is like where, like, okay, his party does well. And then it gets absorbed by, the SNS party of Vučić. And he becomes mayor in 2022. And basically, as soon as he became mayor, it was like scandal after scandal after scandal. Well, yeah, let's talk about like how the buses became free, because that wasn't just like, him doing like a Mamdani or something and being like, this is good for the people. Like, no, he said in a press conference that he was like, only bums use the bus. Like, he was like, when I was like a teenager, I rode the bus to my training. And then like, as soon as I made enough money for a car, like, that's what I did. Like, basically like, fuck people who ride the bus.
He was like, who even drives in a bus?
Yeah.
You know what? So did he almost did the thing where he wadded up some money and threw it at everybody riding the bus with an insult.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Get yourself something nice, a car.
Or like in this case, it was like, I got caught doing a corruption, and so I just decided to quietly make the buses free instead of, confronting that fact. So, like, the previous administrations had semi-privatized the public transit system, which, isn't surprising to most people. I mean, that's what happens now around the world. But it was like there had been a private company in charge of collecting fares that was super, super duper unpopular. It was called Bus Plus. And you had these cards and they had doubled the fares. And like people were really mad about that for years. Like basically nobody paid for the bus.
They would beat up controllers, and like the drivers of the buses were supportive of people not paying for the ticket. Yeah. So the whole thing.
They destroy the little like card reading machines and stuff like that. So it was like unpopular. And so when he comes to power, he decided to renegotiate that contract by setting up basically a sham tender for a company that he was favored or somehow connected to, probably was going to get kickbacks from. In fact, definitely was going to get kickbacks from. There was like a recording of him talking to these people about like, in a kind of Blagojevich type way, right? So, he gets caught doing that and then is just like, well, okay, if we're not going to have that company collecting fares, let's just not have fares in general.
It's too much work to be corrupt. Why don't we just do this for free?
I'm sick of all these kickbacks. Yeah.
You have to get the envelopes. You have to put them in a sock. It's just like it never ends.
Who has the time?
Nobody was paying for it anyway. So, it's...
I'm getting fucking murdered on briefcases here.
Yeah. So it's like, let's acknowledge the reality or whatever and just like scrap
all my socks are ripped from getting too stuffed full of money. I'm sick of this.
But that kind of wasn't the end of his interventions in the bus system or in transit in general. So like he mandated for no apparent reason that all taxis should be white cars.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know is like a thing in Turkmenistan, that like their government mandated that everybody drive white cars. But okay, like all of them were changed to white cars. I guess so you can recognize, a real taxi as opposed to a fake one or whatever.
Well, we see we don't have that problem in this country because you recognize a fake taxi because it has a big fake taxi on there, and the guy talks quite differently.
Šapić has a thing for white, the color white, because I think Belgrade means the white city. So he also made the communal police be called whites.
I don't love that. Like,
Did he want them to wear very like recognizable hats that could stand out in a crowd, like maybe tall ones, pointy?
They're called whites, but they actually have blue uniforms.
And it's like a Devo type uniform too. It's really weird.
Yes.
I gotta take a look at this.
Wait. They have like a little step pyramid hat?
No, but like it's a very, I don't even know how to explain their uniforms. It's like they have these funny little blue and red hats. And I don't know, they just look like 80s. I don't know, it's like Devo. I don't know how else to explain it.
I don't love the car livery. This looks very postal.
Yeah, the problem is that there's a Belgrade, Montana, and it keeps giving me the
and a Belgrade, Maine.
Okay, yeah, no, this is kind of giving like something between like police community support officer and like cycling team, and not a good cycling team.
Yeah, and those are just basically guys that fine people for minor things.
The other thing I really enjoyed about your list here is that they changed the buses from communist red to Nemanjic royal blue.
Yeah, Ray. This one's a little bit in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, this is because Šapić is like a crazy anti-communist. So he had the idea that the buses are red because, I guess he thought the communists made them red. Although in the Titoist era, the buses were actually green. And it's the Serbian Progressive Party, they made them red. So it's totally stupid. But he changed them to, Nemanjić is the medieval dynasty. And he has some idea that the color blue is associated with them. So he changed the color to that. But he's a crazy anti-communist in many different ways. So Tito's grave is in Belgrade, and it's a kind of it's a part of a museum of Yugoslavia. There's a separate object where Tito is buried, and it's like a popular tourist attraction. A lot of people go there, And Šapić had for years this obsession that he wants to kick out Tito's body somewhere outside of Serbia. I like to move it to Croatia, and because Tito was Croatian. So that was like a thing that was actually not popular at all. And then also he wanted to make a monument to the leader of the Chetnik movement during the Second World War, because like many Serbian nationalists, he has this idea that Chetniks were like an anti-fascist movement. In fact, they were collaborationists. So he's really obsessed with anti-communist kind of tropes. And also of course, talks a lot about, the victims of communism and such thing. And while having this campaign to get rid of Tito's dead body, he also said nice things about General Franco, how he was a much better
He's
leader.
way better at being dead than Tito.
Yes,
He's way
and
better.
He did, unlike communists who never did. He said communists literally never did a good thing. Although, for example, he was a president of the municipality of New Belgrade, and he loves New Belgrade. And New Belgrade was entirely built by the communists. It was just a field before the communists came to power. But so they literally never did a good thing. Unlike Franco, who did a lot of good things for the Spanish people, and they still removed his grave to like a normal graveyard. So that was his argument, like why we need to get rid of Tito's grave.
Yeah. So, example, Franco implemented that Spanish space program.
Yeah, I think that he probably doesn't like that part so much. But like his family, it turns out, doesn't even live in Belgrade at all. Like his wife and kid live in Spain. They have like some sort of like multi-million-dollar mansion in Barcelona. And
That's like a mayoral classic, is to not live in the place that you're mayor of.
yeah. And I think he reluctantly lives here now. I don't know. But also that like whole turning the buses blue thing, it was like a total disaster because it turns out like it actually costs a lot of money to change every single bus, tram, trolley, whatever, the entire public transit system. So it was like really half-assedly implemented. So now there's just like some blue buses and some red buses. And I guess maybe he might have even given up on it now that I think that the city's like using a lot of money to, fund the public transit system for free instead of, repainting the buses.
It's having some red and some blue that's the dialectic, I think, right? Is that right? That seems right.
He's reached synthesis.
Yeah, exactly.
But part of also like the blue public transit was that he bought a bunch of, again, this is like a kind of corruption scandal thing, like the most expensive possible trams from some Turkish company.
Sourcing from price high to low on Amazon for your trams.
Literally. There's like, there's a lot of articles about it and like all the different offerings. And this was like the most expensive one. But him or whoever was in charge of this, they didn't bother to measure the width of the trams.
Does that matter? Are they on anything?
I mean, they're too wide to go on a bunch of different streets, like in the city center that are like pretty small, narrow streets. So it was just like, you bought these super expensive trams and now they can't even run on like half the lines.
I love buying the most expensive ones on a kind of like, oh, sorry, I forgot how an auction works basis.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this was like trying to step back from the whole like only bums like use public transit. Like, we'll give you the nicest, the best tram.
I got too excited and I said too big a number.
Yes. But there's like, okay, so there is an old bridge. I mentioned that there was this big Belgrade waterfront, like Emirati funded project that are like the city skylines buildings or whatever. They're right next to what is not like the oldest standing bridge in Belgrade. It's like the only one that didn't get destroyed during World War II. Belgrade is on two rivers, like major rivers. And so like, obviously you need a lot of bridges. And they decided for some random reason, well, not so random, I guess, to just get rid of that bridge altogether because basically it's too close to all the luxury developments of this Belgrade waterfront project. And the trams are too loud for the residents that live there. So as a result, they just decided to get rid of this very crucial piece of public infrastructure just because.
It doesn't fit with the vision. It doesn't fit with the city skylines vision, you know?
It doesn't. And you can't just like, plop another one down or like, move it.
No, everything's supposed to be this sort of like frictionless, like Gulf state investment vehicle, you know?
Yeah.
Unlike the trams, which are a very frictional investment vehicle.
Well, yeah, the friction, of course, is the sort of sparks they produce by hitting every single brick or stone in either building on the way by.
Scraping down both sides of the street, yeah. Deciding which way around to park on the basis of which door you want to get torn off by the tram. Hey, but at least you know from the paint whether it was a monarchist or a communist tram.
Yeah. Although I guess not anymore because they're like half and half or whatever. So the communists still run things, which I think may like work in his conspiracy theory mind. But that's like not, so that's just like, municipal transit stuff. He's also just like the type of guy that has basically, he had corruption scandals from day one, and that included the fact that he, like actually many other high-ranking Serbian politicians, basically bought diplomas and or PhDs. So he is, in addition to being like, an Olympic medalist, a doctor of like business, Ray? Something like that?
Marketing, but I think actually his PhD was revoked, I think. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit too obvious.
Or my understanding, I was looking into this, and it's like they were in the process of revoking his PhD. Then the university dissolved the committee of professors that was looking at whether or not to revoke his PhD. And so now I think we are is everyone agrees that it's plagiarized, but it's in an administrative, like indefinite postponement, essentially. Like they're never gonna, I don't think they're gonna try to avoid deciding on whether or not he did anything.
They put his PhD on paid vacation?
Yeah, essentially. One of my favorite things about this guy is the specifics of the plagiarism allegations, and like because he's doing a PhD in like business, marketing, whatever, and the level of copying that he does from a British textbook for one of the chapters like goes so far as to include like the guys that wrote that book. There was like two British guys writing a book on marketing. They include a bunch of quotes from Sun Tzu, and which is funny in itself, but then he replicates the whole chapter, including like the proverbs, and then doesn't at any other point in his PhD just have a bunch of Chinese proverbs in it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a series of these plagiarism scandals with Serbian politicians who all wanted to have PhDs for some reason. But his case was really the most blatant because I think he's the only one who, like, that most of his thesis was plagiarized. Like,
in fairness, this is like European integration because it doesn't get more German than all of your politicians having plagiarized doctorates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing also plagiarizing a doctorate at the like diploma mill is such a funny move to me. Like they're just going to give it to you anyways.
Yes.
Come on.
It doesn't make any sense because these are all the universities where they get their diplomas are known diploma mills. Like no one really values them at all. So it doesn't really make any sense to do that. And so I just want to tell you something about before his PhD, he also got his BA and MA at another diploma mill, which is called Megatrend University.
Does that translate to something different?
No.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
So it's owned by like a guy who's a member of the Socialist Party, which is the Milošević Party, which is a junior party in the government now. And he's like a tycoon, a very like rich guy, but like a known scammer. And I think even the government revoked their license, although his party is in power. They were so bad that they had to revoke their license. But he's a guy, like, I just want to tell you something about this guy called Dr. Mića Jovanović. You know the British show Only Fools and Horses?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, that's like a huge show in all Yugoslavia. It's like basically ours now. It's like part of culture. Everyone quotes it like on a daily basis. So it's about these two brothers who are very poor, but they want to get rich. And the older brother called Derek or Del Boy has all of these schemes how to get rich, like selling stolen goods or like a pipe bursts in the street and then they bottle that water and sell it as like Peckham mineral water and things like that.
Okay.
And this like the owner of this university is basically like that guy Del Boy, except he made it. He's rich now and has a university. So like to illustrate how much of
a piece of cultural exchange.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when he was a student himself, I think he studied like political science. Mitya would, when he had exams, he would pretend that he's blind. Because he had some scheme that how to pass the exam if he pretended to be blind. So that's the owner of the university, who's also has some fake PhD, who gave 2 degrees to Šapić. Yeah.
Cool.
And Šapić's response to plagiarism, like before they, I guess, actually revoked it, but like when the initial findings came out, he had like a press conference where he said like, what, just because like I'm an athlete and I have tattoos, you think I couldn't possibly be a doctor of science? Like I bet you think I plagiarized my way through grade school too. And it's like, well, like, yeah.
Maybe now,
yeah, like sort of.
Yeah. Well, I didn't before.
He has like some pretty great like jock tattoos too. Like, have you had many athlete mayors on the show?
Yeah, a couple. I mean, not as it's always weirder, and I mean, we'll talk about fucking Kane, the wrestler, being mayor of this town in Tennessee at some point.
Yeah, that's on the list.
Yeah. But not like, it would be weird if like Ryan Lochte, right, became mayor of somewhere.
Like, you know what we've had actually? We've had lots of sports team owners.
Yeah.
He has like a big like half sleeve tribal tat that in the middle has like a Superman sign or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good like early 2000s.
I feel like the American jock tattoo version of this is like you have like a lion, but it has human hands and they're praying. Like that's really the sort of thing.
No, he has a lion tattoo.
Good.
Too.
They always do. They always fucking do. They always do. They always do. Yeah.
A lion with a crown.
Yes, of course, because he's the king.
Serbia also lion.
Come on.
And his daughter's name, which is I think uncreatively Aleksandra.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, like everybody was like, yeah, you probably did cheat your whole way through school. Like, what are you trying to tell us? Like, right? Yeah. So, I mean, again, he's like a total scammer. Everything about his entire career is pretty much fake. And that would be kind of all fun and games too, if he wasn't also just like a racist and homophobic shitbag too.
For a guy whose last name looks so much like the word sapphic, you think he'd be a little more of an ally.
Yeah, I mean, he had some reactions to the Pride Parade in Belgrade, which, you know, is kind of saying that lightly. I think the year that he came to power, it was Euro Pride, which is like moves from city to city in Europe. And it was in Belgrade that year. And there was like a big push by the Vučić government to ban it. And he decided he would set up like a counter pride thing that was called like the Belgrade Days of the Family.
Straight pride. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And this is like kind of what you might imagine it to be like, you know, we're going to do these family friendly events in the center of the city to, you know, counter all this degeneracy or whatever. But it also kind of went in some weird directions that, like, Ray, you reminded me something about that last night that I'd completely forgotten about. That was
he organized that for the first time in 2023, and it was a complete debacle. No one went to it's called Belgrade Days of Family. No one went to it. It's just a boring event. And then he decided to make it exciting. And next year in 2024, Rammstein had a concert as a part of it.
there's too much gay shit around here. Get Rammstein.
Yes. And so, of course, it was a success because tens of thousands of kids went to a free Rammstein concert. But like the message was lost there. Like I think no one was really aware.
There's kind of two jokes here. One being like, we're going to resist this Western degeneracy of homosexuality by getting these Germans on to play Mann gegen Mann.
Yes.
The other joke here is we're gonna make sure the kids are safe and nobody's like grooming them by sending them to row 0 of a Rammstein concert.
Exactly.
Is he just so homophobic that he's like, well, we all know what gays like. They want sort of like bubblegum pop music. They'll be frightened off by anything too sort of black leather and tough.
Yes, looking at Till Lindemann and being like, yeah, this guy he looks manly, like
yeah. Give me the guy in the full gimp suit. Gay people will hate that. They'll hate it. Guy whispering in his ear. Tom of what?
It's
Tom of where?
So funny to be so homophobic that what you get instead is a kind of gay baiting actual groomer.
Yes. Yeah, and since then they are organizing this event every year, and it's just like a bunch of free concerts. So it's like a success. I mean, kids attend free concerts, but I think the kind of the whole homophobic message is really lost there. I think
just a family friend with Rammstein concert every year.
Didn't like Rammstein get like a bunch of like indecency like citations on their first US tour?
Yeah, they simulated like fucking the keyboard player, like, yes, and then like coming on the crowd with like a big dick. It's not to then be booked for like straight pride in Belgrade after that. Very, very funny.
I mean, Till Lindemann was also an Olympic athlete too, right? Maybe that's the connection.
Oh God, yeah, no, that's true, isn't it?
I think also the first time they did the straight pride thing, the Days of the Family, they left like all the stages up and like the booths or whatever, and they just got like trashed by people.
Wait, okay, just real quick.
Didn't take them down.
Till Lindemann never actually went to the Olympics, but he was an Olympic, like as good as an Olympic swimmer. Just didn't go to he missed because of an injury, but he was a swimmer. So these guys met in a pool. I just want to say that. I just want to say
both of these guys wearing Speedos and each assuming the other one to be both homophobic or not homophobic, depending.
But giving each other a knowing wink, but it turns out that both of them think they know something else.
Yeah. Are you a friend of the pool? Yeah.
So I do want to like mention also, just because like some of his kind of gross racism too, but it also ties into some like greater kind of infrastructural issues that exist in the city, and that somehow like people didn't like opposition didn't really pick up on in the way that they probably should have. So like he had some like racist outbursts against Roma people. Roma people are like I think the largest minority in Belgrade, and a vast majority live in these huge slum settlements. Many are refugees from the various wars in the 90s. And in 2023, so like a year after he became mayor, a city-owned like municipal like water and sewage truck hit and ran over and killed a little girl, a little Roma girl, while driving through one of Belgrade's largest Roma settlements. And nobody seemed to mention why it was there in the first place, which is that the city owns, large parts of Belgrade, especially ones that developed in the 90s, aren't connected to the city's sewage system. And so the city empties septic tanks and then dumps them straight in the river, which is exactly where that settlement is actually. So that's like a grotesque on like a huge number of levels. And his response to that was basically like, well, the problem is with Roma people is that like, they don't take advantage of the social programs that exist for them, which is not true, and they don't exist. And basically like, it's their fault that, they live in these settlements, not, the city is dumping raw sewage into the fucking directly into the river. In a Roma settlement.
It's like, why don't they take up swimming as you're dumping raw sewage into the nearest body of water?
Yeah.
Look, you could get one of our many highly damaged trams in to get economic opportunities in New Belgrade, if, when we finish building that bridge I tore down.
Yeah, exactly. But this is like part of a bigger problem in that like Belgrade doesn't have, it's the largest city in Europe that doesn't have like proper a proper sewage treatment facility. So this like presumably would be like a pretty big priority for like any mayor of the city is securing, that because, we should have that. And
he maybe is a guy who cares or should care from the biography about the water a little bit, maybe. This is
right.
I feel a little bit here as if what they've done is they've appointed the Deep to be mayor of Belgrade.
Yeah, but instead of doing that, like they do, and this is like not just true of Šapić, but it's especially true of Šapić. The kind of big city improvements that they do are just kind of like bald-faced, like corruption, money laundering schemes. So there's like, especially during his reign, but also before that, there's a lot of like very expensive city beautification that, surprise, surprise, like the companies doing that are, somehow connected to either like the party or to him directly. And it's always like really shittily done, right? So like they redid the entire like main square of Belgrade, and then like within like a few months, it all started to fall apart. Like the tiles were breaking, the cobblestones were like coming out, and so they had to redo it again. And this, of course, like pisses people off because it like shuts down the city. But his response to all that is like, "What? We're making it beautiful for you guys. Like, we're giving you nice fountains and these like strange, like medieval monuments."
Sorry, what?
Like medieval kings and stuff like that that are just like these plopped down in random places. Again, it's like somebody playing City Skylines, which is like, oh, we could put a statue there. Like, why not? Let's just
let's just say that maybe what it is. It's not just someone playing Cities Skylines. It's a Hearts of Iron 4 player trying Cities Skylines for the first time.
Is this statue thing sort of like a like we are reimagining our glorious past, like pre-communism kind of thing, or is it just like I want statues of kings because I'm insane?
No, it's definitely like the glorious past thing, because this has been like a feature of like the SNS party's like entire rule. So like the previous mayor had like this massive statue to like the founder of the Serbian medieval dynasty or whatever. That again was opened up during lockdown and COVID.
Before it was beaten and then came back, you mean?
This was after it was, after it was beaten and came back. Okay. And then the state violated all the like, no public events rules by bringing like the entire, hierarchy of the Serbian Orthodox Church, every single politician, and they bust in like all these people for this like super spreader event to open this like enormously expensive
Check this shit out, liberals. We're going to give all the bishops COVID.
Actually, the patriarch died of COVID. By the
way. Fuck. Okay, sure.
Unclear what I was trying to do.
The patriarch and I think 3 bishops.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like that. No, that like city beautification stuff is definitely part of this like ideological project. But it's like it's really absurd, and it's like it was I think a state secret as to how much that statue actually cost. And they wouldn't like tell people because, they'd be mad about it for obvious reasons. Because, like the city doesn't have sewage.
It's very funny for this guy to be a sort of like rabid anti-communist, because if you went like, the mayor of Belgrade started painting all the trams different colors and then killed 3 bishops for no reason, you would be like, man, the Socialist Republic was weird. I don't know that I support all of that. And then he fucked out. It's like, no. This was well afterwards.
Yeah. So like this actually continues to this day. So like he at the moment is kind of not there really so much. Like he did the kind of Trump thing for a while, which I think like a lot of politicians picked up on, which is like, oh, like we can be outwardly hostile to the media or whatever. We can just be like, the lying lamestream media or whatever. And he was doing that for a while. And then he just like canceled all press conferences and basically kind of stopped appearing in public. But is still doing these weird like city beautification projects kind of unannounced out of nowhere. So like earlier this year, they spawned roundabouts everywhere. A lot of which were too small for buses to go around. Again, like there's like somebody's not doing measurements or whatever. So they did one in the twice reconstructed main square and plopped this like massive, like antique clock looking thing in the middle of it, which is like, very gaudy and kind of, again, almost like Trumpian with like gold leaf type of thing, which again, just stopped working immediately, like within days of it being put there.
I mean, this is the Trumpy thing that's going on in DC right now, where he's just like, and we're making the fountains beautiful, everybody. And they make the fountain, like they fix up, in big scare quotes, the fountains, and they stop working, or they say they're going to fix the reflecting pool and turn it into like a super fun site. But that's all they know how to do is like, they think it's like they're doing the farce version of like the fascist beautification. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah. And I think like just as recently as like a couple weeks ago, there was another weird, again, just randomly spawned statue of, it's like a scale, like maybe like the scales of justice or whatever.
Sure.
Apparently for no reason. It's very large and kind of, again, bronze colored, and it has no relation to anything around it. Like, and it's been like a big mystery as to why it was put there to begin with.
Is it possible there's like some sort of interdimensional being playing SimCity 2000 on top of you right now? Have you heard a voice say reticulating splines very loudly in your brain recently?
I'm fascinated. Not to derail this by doing my own research, but I did Google this guy for the first time. It's crazy how big he is physically.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He's a really big guy.
Guys ripped. First of all, I do like the way that he speaks, because it is sort of Trumpian to me. There's a quote from him here where he's talking about student protesters, and he says, "I no longer have the strength to fight with liars, swindlers, ignoramuses, and dilettantes."
Yeah, I mean, that is like part of the reason that like he disappeared for like the last year and a half is that there have been these massive anti-government protests, which are related to infrastructure, actually, but like not in Belgrade. The second largest city, a newly renovated train station collapsed right after it had been opened by Vučić and Orban. And it killed 16 people, and that triggered like a wave of massive protests. And so Šapić, who wasn't like really good at like communicating with the people to begin with, found himself in like a really strange position because he's obviously against the protesters and against the protests, and was, like you said, pretty vocal about that and like calling them names or whatever. But he also ended up coming at odds with the rest of the government, because the government decided that to respond to the student protests, they would have their own like pro-government camp in the middle of the city, right in front of the Parliament building, which has been like a huge debacle for like a ton of reasons.
Just Vučić going like, "Hear me out. What if we did backwards Euromaidan?"
Yeah, actually, I think he said it was to counter Maidan.
What if we Occupy Wall Street?
Yes.
They think they can occupy us. We're going to occupy them right back.
I think they literally called it like an anti-Maidan camp.
Oh my God. Okay, perfect. Yeah, what if we just bust in every chud and police officer and had them start ripping up cobblestone? Cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was like, but it had an influence on him too, because like it's hugely unpopular. Like the pro-government camp is largely like made up of like soccer hooligans that are like controlled by the state, which is a thing that exists in Serbia, and like old alcoholics who are like bused in to sit there like all day. But it like totally fucked up traffic for the entire city, because it's like literally in the middle of the city center, blocking off like the road in front of Parliament. So he had to kind of respond in some sort of responsible way to that, which was him, like he gave a couple announcements that was like, I'm not actually I'm not in favor of the protest, but I'm not in favor of this either. And we should probably get rid of it.
Sort of giving the freedom convoy,
Mm-hmm. But I think that kind of is maybe spelling the end for him there, because like we said, the mayoralship is like an arm of Vučić. And if he's kind of mildly going against that, that's not great for his prospects in the future.
I mean, I feel for your sort of ordinary Serbian at this point. In the course of researching this, and by researching I mean going to r/Serbia best of all time, I find a post from a year ago that is also translated by Twitter, which is the only good feature Twitter has ever added, where someone just says, "My ass is fucking burning from walking in this 40-degree heat 4 times a day because these damn fucking blockades have completely drained my goddamn patience, and I just can't fucking take it anymore." So I feel like sort of this guy, he's now caught in a sort of a dog day afternoon situation,
Yeah, for sure. And I think there was a period of time in which he thought they would ride the kind of whole Trump wave or whatever. And Jared Kushner bought kind of through Šapić, through the city government, got authorized to develop the former military headquarters that was bombed by NATO in 1999 and turn that into a Trump hotel. In the center of Belgrade.
We would like to build a metaphor for American foreign policy, please.
Yes.
Oh, no, much heavier handed. Yeah, this hand should be so heavy that it could pick up those scales that got randomly dropped down in the middle of the traffic.
But obviously, that wasn't popular at all either. So, that has now been shelved and Kushner pulled out.
Yeah, and now he's in Albania, right, Kushner?
And everybody's protesting against that too.
Awesome.
Everybody's going to Albania.
Everyone's going to Albania. They're trying to get smoked up in the barracks.
But this is the thing. Once again, Eric Adams, thought leader.
That's right.
Right. The Albanian leader of New York, former leader of New York, I should say. Pardon me.
So just quickly, I was going to jump in here. I know Maddie has a hard out shortly. So
Yes.
I think that might actually be a pretty good button if you guys have anything left before you want to wrap up.
I think this was pretty much it.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you put a little button on it?
I
and
just
then,
I just want to note really quickly, not relevant to anything, the top post of all time on r/Serbia is a Belgrade ambulance very slowly reversing over a person because they're not using the mirrors. And then the EMT gets out and goes, "Oh, fuck." So,
and I have also one more thing because I wanted to check. Megatrend University is interesting to me. I wanted to check if they have
we're
sports
serious
teams.
about success.
If they have sports teams, slogans, stuff like this. And they do have a slogan. Their alumni association has a slogan in English. It is the following: "We are from Megatrend University. It was a good school."
That's cool. I like when you look at it, it's one small building. It's probably good.
Yeah, it doesn't scream academic excellence.
Yeah. Anyway, look, Boris, Ray, I want to thank you both for coming and introducing us to this strange, dumb jock.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Yeah.
It's our pleasure. What a beautiful man.
Yeah, this is a wonderful man. I'm going to think about him.
Where can people find any more of you if they want to hear a little more about the Balkans?
So the podcast is The Empire Never Ended. People can find us at Patreon. It's patreon.com/Tenepod. That's TENEPOD. We cover fascism, mostly Western fascism. We have a series on Ezra Pound, Mayor Kahana, the American Nazi Party, the eugenicist movement, all kinds of stuff like that. We have many episodes on the Order of Nine Angles. And also the other side that we cover is Balkan nationalist history. So if people are interested also in that, we have lots of episodes on that. And we have almost 400 episodes now.
Yeah, so there's plenty to go through.
I'll definitely link that in the show note.
Lovely. Well, and thank you all for listening to No Gods, No Mayors. This has been a bonus episode. Free episode.
Free episode.
This has been a free episode. And we will see you Actually, you know what? I think next week we're going to see you back in time.
We're going to see
live in London.
Yeah, the last live London show will be on the bonus feed next week. NoGodsNoMares.com. $5 a month, double the episodes of the show for you to listen to, that'll be the 100th episode. So there'll be 50 episodes waiting for you, which is a lot of episodes. That's a lot of mayors.
Yeah. That's right. Mm-hmm. Anyway, thanks everybody, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.